Hello, fellow citizens. Progress is in the hands of the people. Before the next thing I'm going to say here, I don't want you to turn away from this video right now because I have something very important to share with you. Striking statement. The Minister of Local Government in Zambia has no power to suspend a council. I repeat that. A minister in Zambia has no authority under the Constitution of Zambia to suspend a council. Some of you are very convinced that that is not true, but I want you to wait a minute. I'm worried. There is a lot of misconception. There's a lot of ignorance on this issue. And before you get offended and turn away right now, please indulge me because you need this information. You need this information. Do not turn away from this video right now. I need to tell you, the country needs to be educated on some of these things. In fact, all of it, not some of it. The public needs to be educated because I see that there is a lot of our fellow Zambians that really do believe that the minister has the power to suspend the council. Now, that was true before. This is where this confusion is coming from. This is where this confusion is coming from. The confusion is coming from that was the case before. You understand? 6 years ago, I wouldn't argue with you. The minister had the power to suspend the councils. Not anymore. They don't have the power to suspend the councils. You understand? Okay. Now that I've said that straight, the Minister of Local Government used to have the power to suspend councils. Not anymore. They don't have the power to suspend the council anymore. Let's get to it. I don't want to waste too much of your time, fellow citizens. So let me just get to let's see this video right here. We'll start with this video. I'm gonna play this video, then we'll look at the constitution just a little bit. This video, I promise, I don't want this video to take that long. Okay. So here is the minister. This was when was this? I believe this was I'll get the date after this. I believe this was this week. Today is Today is July 29th, 2020. This was this week when he announced the suspension of the councils. So let me play this so we can see it first. Hold on, give me just a second here so I can get it aligned properly and get the volume right. Okay. All right. Let's see if I can get this right. Okay.
That have suspended the Lusaka City Council for 3 months to give us chance to correct the ills that are in that council. May I also, colleagues, I wish to announce now that I've suspended the Lusaka City Council for 3 months to give us chance to correct the ills that are in that council. May I also announce that I have with immediate effect suspended Kitwe City Council so that we are able to go in and correct the ills. And I'm hoping that in that 3 months, as we try to put things correct, our friends are going to have an introspection and come back as better councillors and civic leaders in those very, very important institutions. Apart from that, let me also send a warning to other councils that are in this habit of perpetually wanting to be on the wrong side of the law, that we're not going to spare anybody. There's no sacred cow in this. We may come back soon should these activities persist in other councils to do the same, suspend them and correct the issues there. And
particularly for certain vulnerable groups.
All right. Okay, guys. That's the minister right there. So let's talk about it. So here is the minister. He just suspended the Lusaka City Council. And what comprises the Lusaka City Council? The mayor and the councillors. This may sound very interesting to other people. Now, why did this do this to begin with? There's reports of corruption. There's reports of illegal land allocations and things like that. Those are bad things. Those are not good things. Okay? So, but there's a major issue here, because while those things are, not good, we have our first duty. The first duty of every citizen, especially the president, is to the Constitution of Zambia. The Constitution of Zambia is supreme. It says so in the Constitution, the supremacy of the Constitution. It is supreme law. You cannot abrogate one law. You cannot abrogate one law in the name of fixing another wrong. There's a doctrine in law. It's called the doctrine of clean hands. If you purport to be coming to somewhere to correct a wrong, you must come with clean hands. You shouldn't have bloody hands, dirty hands, i.e., you yourself are not a saint. Now, and I'll show you what I mean here. He's abrogating the constitution of the land. He's breaking the law. And he is also not a saint. Under which ministry were the 42 fire tenders purchased? $42 million gone. That $42 million is what could be used to feed people if it becomes necessary to lock down the country during a COVID pandemic. You understand the seriousness of that? That's how serious that is. $42 million can feed every family in Zambia up to a year. That money is gone. It all happened under the Ministry of Local Government, with tenders and all that stuff. So let me get back. Let's see. He has no power to suspend the government. And I want the citizens, you my fellow citizens, to understand this. Okay, I have seen post after post. Somebody here is talking. I've watched forums where somebody is saying, oh yes, the authority and all that stuff. It's all nonsense. If our country is going to go anywhere, fellow citizens, we need to have an understanding of what is in the Constitution. We need to understand what's in the Constitution. Otherwise, we can't go anywhere. If you don't understand your Constitution, you cannot defend it. You cannot assert your rights, and you cannot defend them. You need sometimes to take time to study what is in the Constitution. It is your duty as a citizen to understand some of these things. If you hear all this stuff, all this going on, all this nonsense going around, and you don't know what's going on, why don't you take the Constitution and read it? You can read the Constitution for yourself. So that even if you can't stop it, at least you realize what kind of foolishness is going on. You can make a judgment. Could this minister go to the Constitutional Court and win? Sure, because the foolishness extends to the Constitutional Court. You understand? The whole government system is rotten. But it's even worse when you, the citizens, are asleep and you are supporting nonsense. You are supporting the abrogation of the Constitution. You are supporting somebody's abuse of power. He's abusing power that he does not have. And you support it. I've heard so many people, oh, you don't know. He's acting under the authority of the Local Government Act, Cap 56 or whatever. It's all nonsense. Let's go into it. I don't want to waste time today. Okay. I'll bring up the Constitution. First, I want to show you the Constitution of 1996. Zambian Constitution as amended in 1996. Okay? Because I want to make a point. Okay, 1996 Constitution. Okay, here, let me align this properly to the window so we can see it. Okay. I'm going to align this nicely here so we can see it properly. Okay, there we go. This is the Constitution of Zambia as amended in 1996. Hold on. I don't want to have too much trouble aligning this. Hold on. I'm going to get it right. I want you to be able to see this. Okay. Just give me a sec. Let's see how that looks. Okay. All right. So that's okay. Okay. I think that's good. This is the Constitution 1996 Constitution. All right, that's page 52. Let me just show it to you so you can see that that's really what it is. Okay, yeah. This is the Zambian Constitution as amended in 1996. All right. So let's set it up here. So because I want us to go through this. I want to show you. There's a very important point here that I want to show you. Okay. Let me put it down here. Put it down further. Because I need to you to see what I'm looking at. I'm just pulling this from the National Assembly, okay? Okay, I'm pulling this from the National Assembly. So I just want to, okay, there we go. That's what I wanted you to see. I want you to see that this is actually what I'm looking at, okay? This is, okay, perfect. Zambia Constitution, 1996, okay? Here, this is the Constitution before Mr. Lungu was in office. That was the Constitution. I'm pulling it from Zambia, from the National Assembly. So I want to go here and look at what it says under the local government. Okay, indulge me just a little bit. So I'm gonna be just a quick search here. So go the word local. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay. There. See that? That's the Constitution of Zambia as amended in 1996. That's the part 8, local government system. Okay. So let's see what it says. All right. Let's see what it says. It says Article 109, local government system. Part 1. There shall be such system of local government in Zambia as may be prescribed by an act of parliament. That's a key. That's all we need to read right there. There shall be such system of local government in Zambia as may be prescribed by an act of parliament. So in this constitution, the constitution empowered parliament to create the local government system. You understand? So it was up to parliament. So parliament, first I want you to know what a constitution is. The constitution, because it's a supreme law of the land, the constitution regulates all other laws in the country. No law in Zambia can stand on its own outside the framework of the constitution. There's no such law that can. If you ever find a law anywhere in any document in Zambia, in any law, criminal law, in a penal code or wherever, if you find any law that says something that is inconsistent with the constitution, that law is void. That is how the very construct of constitutionalism works. Everything is regulated. All laws in Zambia are promulgated from the constitution. They are all promulgated from the constitution. Everything that the parliament does is regulated by the constitution. they cannot do anything that is inconsistent with the constitution. So this constitution of 1996, it says there shall be such system of local government in Zambia as may be prescribed by an act of parliament. So this constitution empowers parliament to create a local government system, and they can create it according to according to the power conferred by this constitution, because it says as may be prescribed. So in whichever way parliament wants to configure the local government system, they can. It gives them that power, and it can also gives them the power to say, hey, a minister of local government can dissolve, can suspend councils, or it can fire, or a minister can fire a mayor. You understand what I'm saying? Because the constitution gave parliament those powers. Okay? So, under those powers, the parliament passed an act of parliament. This is the Local Government Act. They passed, based on this authority given to them in the constitution, they passed the Local Government Act. In that act, they configured the local government system, and they said a mayor shall be elected, a councillor shall be elected in the act. Remember, an act is inferior to the constitution. The constitution is up here. An act of parliament comes down here. And everything this act says must be consistent with the constitution. You see? So, for example, the parliament could not go in there and says, okay, we are going to, hey, under this, they could go in there and say, we are going to make all provinces local government. Because they have the power. It says there shall be a system of local government in Zambia as may be prescribed by an act of parliament. So they can configure them in whichever way they want. And they can, empower ministers and anything or anybody to act, to oversee local government. That's what they did with the Local Government Act. So, that's 1996 Constitution. Let's jump over to the next Constitutional Amendment. This is Constitution Amendment of Zambia, 2016. Okay? I want you guys, fellow citizens, to follow me very carefully. So I'm going to just do a quick search for local government so we can jump over there, okay? Quick search for local government. All right, let's see here. Quick search for local government. Actually, I know where that is. I'm just gonna jump to the article. I believe it's article 152. Let's see what that is. That's talked about. That's 155. I went too far. Okay. There we go. 153, 152. And this is 151. System of local government. Now, remember, this is in the Constitution. This is in the Constitution as amended in 2016. This is in the Constitution of 1996. See, here, 1996 Constitution, which was in force until 2016, simply says, local government system. There shall be such system of local government in Zambia as may be prescribed by an act of parliament. This constitution never went further to describe how local government officials are going to be elected. No, it just ends here. The system of local government shall be based on democratically elected councils on the basis of universal adult suffrage. That's it. Okay, those are the only two things it prescribed. It said the councils shall be democratically elected. So, which means the government had no right to simply appoint councils and mayors. They had to be elected. But what those mayors and councillors were subjected to under the authorities they were subjected to is not described in this constitution. You see what I'm saying? It's not described in this constitution, which means that Parliament had the leeway, because it says as may be prescribed by an act of Parliament. Parliament had the authority to include within the act as to how councils would be held accountable for stuff, for doing things. You follow me? But the only one thing that they could not change was that the councillors and mayors would have to be elected by the people. That's why councillors and mayors were still elected by the people. Okay? So now we jump to so this is pretty much, let me go down here. So just to make sure that you understand that this is over. This is all it says in the 1996 constitution. Look, I'm going to go down. There's nothing else. This is part 9. This is directive principles of state and policy and directive principles of state policy and the duties of a citizen. So local government is just here. So all powers for local government configuration was in Parliament, was vested in Parliament. Now let's go to 2016. Okay, here's 2016. Look at the difference. Local government, system of local government. The constitution starts to describe it. There is established, listen to the language, the difference. There is established a local system, a local government system, which means this system of local government is being established by the constitution itself. You understand? That's the difference between this. This says there shall be such system of local government in Zambia as may be prescribed by an act of Parliament. This one simply says there will be a local government, but it doesn't establish it. It doesn't create it. The constitution does not create it, but it says Parliament will create the local government system. It does. The 1996, let me repeat that. The 1996 constitution does not create a local government system. It says Parliament will create the local government system. As prescribed, and they'll create it based on in accordance with by passing an act of Parliament, by passing a law. Okay? That's the difference. So we go back to 2016 now. The constitution itself creates a local government system. That's the difference. There is established 151(1) right here. It is created right here. This is a creature. The local government system is now a creature of the constitution. It says so right here. There is, not there shall be, there is established a local government system. It's created. That's creating. The constitution creates the local government system. Not Parliament, not the president, not anybody. No, the local government system is created right here in that sentence here. This is the power of the constitution. It means you essentially, without going into ignoring all other nonsense around the constitution, essentially it means you, the people of Zambia as a body, all of you, have created. The constitution is the expression of the people's wishes in a sovereign state. So here, who's creating it really here? Who's creating the local government system? The people of Zambia. Because the people of Zambia have created the presidency, the office of the president, they create parliament, they create all these institutions of government is created by the people of Zambia as expressed in this constitution. Because you would ask the question, who creates the constitution? It's the people of Zambia in an expression of sovereignty. Although this has never happened in Zambia because of greed. This document we call the constitution that we follow was originally created by the British as a transitional document while we were waiting to sit in a representative assembly to create our own constitution. So we've been amending this same schedule that was written by the British. So we have never sat down really as a sovereign state to create a constitution. But essentially, this is what a constitution is. So it is essentially saying the people of Zambia, all of us as a collective body, because we want to be governed a certain way, we are establishing a local government system. There is established a local government system here, which means the president cannot argue with this, the minister cannot argue with this, parliament cannot debate this, nobody in Zambia can debate this. The only one who can debate this is all Zambians together. All of us Zambians. If there was going to be a debate as to who creates the local government systems, that's an argument for all Zambians together. Because we are the creator. We are the ones who determine how we ought to be governed, how we wish to be governed. So here is a creation right there. There is established a local government system. So it's created right here in the constitution. And the functions are outlined. They are enumerated. Functions, responsibilities, and resources from the national government and provincial administrations are transferred to the local authorities in a coordinated manner. And it doesn't say will be transferred, it says are transferred. Functions, responsibilities, and resources from the national government and provincial administration are transferred to the local authorities in a coordinated manner. Are transferred, not will be transferred. No, they are transferred, which means it's a done deal. The central government has no choice but to allocate all resources in a budget because they can't do anything. All functions, responsibilities, and resources from the national government and provincial administration are all transferred to the local authorities because that's why implementation of government programs must occur. Okay. Now let's go. I just wanted to linger a little bit over there because I wanted you to understand what a constitution is. Okay, because I've been seeing so much misunderstanding, so much confusion, so much ignorance. People have argued with me. You know, some people will just call me ignorant. People call me ignorant, seriously, and they haven't even looked at it, at this stuff. So let's jump over to the issue at hand, the issue in question. Okay, here. Oh, in fact, there's something interesting I want to share with you here before I go further. Here, under the duties of the local government, as given to it by the Constitution, the performance of persons employed by the national government, which is the central government, and provincial administration to provide services in the substructure is, listen to this. This is the power of the local government. Listen, guys, listen, this is very key, okay? This is very key. I want you to understand this. Listen to this. The performance of persons employed by the national government, which means the president, ministers, permanent secretaries, or everybody who is working for the national government. The performance of persons employed by the national government and provincial administration to provide services in the substructures is overseen by local authorities. What does this mean? What does it mean? What does that mean? It means everybody who lives in the Lusaka City Council, ministers and whoever, has no power over the mayor. They have no power over the mayor in his jurisdiction. Because the duty of central government and ministers is only to promulgate laws, national laws, acts of parliament. The president can issue a statutory instrument. Those statutory instruments are binding on the local authorities. Do you understand? But they would be binding. He cannot issue a statutory instrument to one council. No. If a president issues a statutory instrument on councils on a particular issue, it affects all councils across Zambia. And all councils then must work under that, must follow that. Just like their bylaws must conform with the acts of parliament and the constitution. That's how the construct of constitutionalism works. This is what we are looking at here. This is the concept of constitutionalism. Okay? So, a mayor in Lusaka has all the power in that city. He cannot be interfered with by a minister or the president. No, he can't. The president's role is to run the country, set policy, a vision for the country, speak on behalf of the country in international matters and all that stuff, inspire citizens, make sure people understand that we have a leader here, lobby for change so that the councils can follow, So the duty of these ministers is clear, and I'll show it to you in shortly here. So that's the authority. So now let's go. Keep going so I can show you where the local government system shall be based on democratically elected councils, promote democratic and accountable exercise of power, foster national unity. So all these powers now are in the constitution itself. They are not in an act of parliament, such as the local government acts that we've been hearing about. All this foolishness. No, that act is no longer applicable. It's void to the extent with which it's inconsistent with this constitution. All this is now in the constitution itself. So let's go down, okay? Because I want to a local authority, okay? Here, a local authority, right here. This is where we have the issue, right here. And I'm going to read with you this right here. This. Okay? Because I want you fellow citizens to understand. Right here. I'm just gonna go along with it. 152, part 1. A local authority shall A. administer the district, B. oversee programs and projects in the district, C. make bylaws, and D. perform other prescribed functions prescribed by the Constitution. Okay? 152. 2. Now listen to this one. This is the main one. The national government, the national government and the provincial administration shall not interfere with or compromise a local authority's ability or right to perform its functions. It's right here in black and white. Right here, guys. Right here. There it is, in black and white. The national government and the provincial administration shall not interfere or compromise a local authority's ability or right to perform its functions, i.e., the president, his ministers, permanent secretaries, what if they are deputy ministers, they're not deputy ministers right now, permanent secretaries, or any other, or the party, the PF party or whatever party, cannot interfere with the operations and functions of a local government. What this minister just did is violate this right here. He just violated that clause of the Constitution. By citing an act that is now obsolete. That act is obsolete now because now the councils are created in the Constitution and their powers are right in here. I'm reading it to you right here. It's within the Constitution. The 1996 Constitution, there is nothing on local government system. It simply says the parliament will determine how the local government system is going to work. You see what I'm saying? So that act that formed the local government system, the Local Government Act, is what gave the minister to be able to, the authority to suspend councils. It is no longer valid because now the Constitution, the local government is created by the Constitution itself, and its powers come directly from the Constitution, not from a minister. A minister is part of the national government. He has no power to interfere or compromise a local authority's ability or right to perform its functions. There you have it. Now, what are the powers of the minister? You may ask. Okay, what are the powers of a minister? If you say he doesn't have powers, right? Well, let's look. It's right here in the Constitution. We will go to Article 116, I believe. Article 116. You see, as citizens, guys, we need to be reading these things. It is a duty of a citizen to read these things. You know, it's not difficult to read these things. You read it and you understand it. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. You don't need a lawyer to tell you how to read these things. So that when you are talking, you know what you're talking about. You know. Here, right here. Okay? Let's take a look right here. Ministers. The president shall appoint a prescribed number of members of parliament as ministers. Okay? 2. Here. Listen very carefully, guys. Listen very, very carefully right here. Okay? Listen very carefully. Right here. Right here. I'm highlighting too much. Right here, guys. Listen very carefully. Right here. A minister shall be responsible under the direction of the president for the policy and strategic direction of a ministry, department, or other state institution as assigned by the president. That is the extent of a minister's responsibilities. Now, a state institution, a local government is not a state institution, just in case you are wondering. A state institution is something like the Drug Enforcement Commission, Anti-Corruption Commission, the Energy Regulation Board. Those are state institutions. You know, And there's a whole bunch of state agencies, and that's all it says about the authority of a minister. Everything here that follows talks about the office of the minister when it becomes vacant and all that stuff, when a minister dies and all that stuff. But this right here is what is the extent of a minister. You understand? A minister shall be responsible under the direction of the president for the policy and strategic direction of a ministry. That's the main one. Department or other state institution as assigned by the president. That's it. If it is not one of these, he has no authority to go there. A local government is a government in its own right, with its own elected leaders. These are constitutionally elected leaders. They're not elected by power within an act of parliament. No, they are constitutionally elected, drawing powers directly from the constitution of Zambia. In other words, drawing power directly from the body of people in Zambia, from the entire citizenry of Zambia. We are the ones that have given these councillors and mayors the power to be in those offices. Not the president, not a minister, not a one. So those people who have elected those people, so for example, Mr. Mao Sampa in Lusaka, the people of Lusaka have made you mayor by the power vested in them by this constitution. So whoever comes and says, I am removing your mayor, it means it's insulting you to your face. It is usurping your will, the will of the people. You understand? Is usurping your will, is taking away your universal suffrage. You chose Mao Sampa to be your mayor. The people of Kitwe chose whoever is the mayor over there to be the mayor. You chose your councillors. You chose them by this constitution. And by this constitution, no one can remove or suspend those officials. No one. Okay? So that matter is settled. A minister right now has no authority to remove a mayor. And I want to go into a couple other things. Now that we have established, look it up yourself. Look it up yourselves, guys. I don't know. I do not own the ability to look up these things. You can look it up for yourselves. You can look it up for yourselves. It's very easy. Look it up. Read it. Compare it with the 1996. I can look it up. I can look up the Local Government Act right now and see what it says. It's obsolete. Right now, it is obsolete. It is obsolete. There's no discussing anything in Local Government Act or something like that, because that was only necessary under the 1996 Constitution. Because the Constitution was not created by, the local government was not created by the Constitution in the 1996 Constitution. As of January 5th, 2016, all local governments in Zambia were created by the Constitution of Zambia. And the elections that took place in Zambia in 2016, all those mayors and whoever who was elected under the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia, not an act of parliament, not the Local Government Act. No, the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia. A minister, therefore, cannot remove a mayor, which is shocking, because you would expect that a mayor sitting in an office would have at least some understanding of the law, or he would have some lawyers around him. Why isn't Mao Sampa's lawyer telling him, hey, you are not supposed to leave this office? They have no power to remove you. He is supposed to say, I'm not going anywhere. You have no authority to remove me. We are going to court. Not that I trust the courts, but in a democratic system, that's how it should work. I am going to court and let the court decide if you have the power to remove me. The answer is they don't. They don't have the power to remove Mao Sampa. They did, but they don't now. Now they don't. Wafya sana people. I'm telling you. Let me do a quick search here, okay? Let me search for the Zambian Local Government Act. All right? Zambia Local Government Act. And it's been around for a long time, since 1965. The first one was 1965. Let me see if I don't know if I can find the current one, the most current one. See, hold on. Local government in Zambia. The Local Government Act 2019. Okay? Okay, this is what I was hoping for. Local Government Act 2019. Well, let's take a look at this foolishness. Okay, what's going on here? Well, let me see if I can get it somewhere else. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can. Okay, there it is. Let me see if I can. Find a PDF. I want to see if I can get a PDF. Okay, it seems like this is cooperating with me. Okay, I wanted to see here what this act, year of act 2019. Okay, there we go. Okay, good. Here we go, guys. Let's take a look at this. Okay, let's take a look at this. Just bear with me a little bit here. Let's take a look at this. This is going to be fun. Let's see what it says about ministers. This is where the people of Zambia need to be careful with these things, because if this thing, as I was telling you about the constitutionalism, if this thing says anything about a minister having powers to suspend councils, it's now and void. You understand? It's now and void. It's now and void. Okay? So let's see. Let me do a quick search here. And I'm just going to say suspend. Okay? Let me use the word suspend. All right? Let's see here. This is going to be interesting, guys. Come on, let's see here. Let's see. See? Let's see. This is the foolishness we are talking about. Here is the foolishness. Yes, here comes the foolishness. Here is what causes confusion in a country. Guys, this is the mother of all confusions, the mother of foolishness in a country. Here is the local government of act. And when here is what dooms us in Zambia. Whenever they revise a constitution, the supreme law of Zambia, they don't look at all the other laws, penal codes and all that stuff, to make sure that whatever is in there is revised to conform with the Constitution. It doesn't look like anybody takes a look and said, hey, okay, we just revised the Constitution. So now they don't unleash lawyers say, review all other laws. This is what is supposed to happen. Review all other laws. And anything that is not consistent with the revisions in the Constitution must be changed to conform with the Constitution. That is what is supposed to happen. This foolish document right here was just done in 2019. All right, here is what it says. Suspension of councillors. Here, 56, right here. 56. The minister may, by reason of the refusal, failure, or inability of a council to adequately perform all or any of its functions by statutory order, A, appoint a public officer to the local government administrator for the council, and B, suspend all councillors of the council from performing all of their functions as councillors and empower a local government administrator to discharge all the functions of the council. You hear that? Here's what I'm going to tell you. This is the foolishness. This is the height of foolishness in the land. That is in direct contradiction with the constitution of the land. The constitution is up here. This act is here. This is the constitution. This is the constitution. An act of parliament is here. An act of parliament cannot do anything that contradicts the constitution. An act of parliament cannot invent more powers than are authorized in the constitution. You understand? It is very clear here. A minister shall be responsible under the direction of the president for the policy and strategic direction of a ministry, department, or other state institutions as assigned by the president. That is the extent of a minister's powers. That is the extent of the minister's powers. That's it. That's all. 152.1. Right here. This is directly in the Constitution. The national government and the provincial administration shall not interfere with or compromise a local authority's ability or right to perform its functions. Then, this is the Constitution. Then you come up with an act which contradicts all that. A minister may suspend. This is still following, this act is still following from the 1996 Constitution. No one got in this stupid thing carefully to revise it to conform with the current Constitution. You see what I'm saying? And this is the mother of all confusion, the mother of foolishness. This is the foolishness that we have in our republic. You can't run a republic in this manner. This is the foolishness. But by nature of construction, of constitutionalism, by the very nature of constitutionalism, because this act contradicts, is inconsistent with the Constitution, it is void to the extent that it is inconsistent with the Constitution. Any law in Zambia that contradicts the Constitution is void to the extent that it is inconsistent with the Constitution. Because the Constitution is up here, you cannot have parliament or a president issue an SI or something. You cannot have parliament say, you citizens, now, when whoever commits a crime is guilty until proven innocent. Let me give you that example. And this is how serious this is. The parliament passes an act. An act. An act is inferior to the constitution. An act is an exercise of parliament as representatives of the people. You see? So now they create this act, and an act cannot contradict anything within the laws of this constitution. The constitution regulates all laws in Zambia. You understand? The constitution is the regulator. It's a regulator of all laws in Zambia. So, let me give you this example. The parliament passes an act today, a bill, then it becomes an act. And in that act, it says, a person alleged to have committed a crime shall be deemed guilty until he has proved himself innocent. Not innocent until proven guilty. Shall be guilty until proven innocent. Meaning that if someone alleges that you have raped someone, for example, a woman comes and says, he raped me. You be arrested, you go before a judge, you get sentenced, and then you start fighting to prove you're innocent. To prove your innocence. How do you think about that? What do you think about that? No, I want you citizens to think about that. What do you think about that? When the Constitution clearly says a person shall be considered innocent until proven guilty, which is true in most countries, if not all of them. Almost every country on the planet today has that phrase in them. A person is an accused individual, is an accused citizen, is considered innocent until proved guilty. Therefore, if you get arrested, you are free to go on bond, on bail. You get bail. Because you cannot remain incarcerated unless you are guilty. But if Parliament passes a law that says you are guilty until proven innocent, how would you like that? Do you think they have the power to do that? Huh? You need to understand these things. It's important to understand these things. It means that law is void. Can you agree that that law would be void? There are even people that talk about, oh, he did it. A president can issue a statutory instrument requiring the council of people to be, enabling a minister to suspend mayors. You think if a president or a minister issued a statutory instrument and which says you are now guilty until proven innocent, would you like that? Seriously, would you like that? What country would you think you are living in? Your father gets arrested and they tell you, well, he's going to stay incarcerated until he can prove himself innocent. No, my dad did not do this. My dad did not do this. Sorry. He is guilty until proven innocent. What would you think about that? Would you think that's right? You think this is not right? The Constitution says you are innocent until proven guilty. You cannot have a law that is inferior to the Constitution determine otherwise. No. It can only describe the details of how things are going to happen. It cannot invent anything new, anything that is contradictory to the Constitution. The reason Parliament passes acts is not to create new laws. No. It's to create essentially they create a manifestation of the provisions of the Constitution. That's what passing bills does. That's what parliament does. It doesn't create essentially things or laws outside of parliament or laws that supplement the constitution. No. It simply takes what's in the constitution and then manifests it. This is how we are going to exercise what the constitution says. You understand? So they pass an act as a manifestation of the constitution. Under that act, a president can issue a statutory instrument for a little bit of what is provided for in an act. And that statutory instrument is not inventing something new. It is simply detailing the manifestation or expressing a power provided provided to the president under that act as allowed by the constitution. So anyway, that's it, guys. Not to go too far. That's pretty much. That's what I wanted to. I wanted to for you citizens to understand that what has happened is wrong. Is wrong constitutionally. Our laws are there for a reason. You may ask, well, there was somebody who was saying, well, if the minister cannot do that, he cannot suspend the mayor and the councillors. What role does he have if the council is misbehaving? If there is wrongdoing in the council, what role does the minister have? First, he does not have any role. The local government is on its own. It's a government by itself. 2, now, what can the government do if there is whistleblowing, if there are reports of abuses of authority or corruption in the council? What can happen? What recourse does the central government have, or anybody? It's not only the duty of the central government. Anybody or any citizen, what role do they have? First one being blowing the whistle. We have this is happening in this council. The people who come, I got a plot of land here. This is what happened. This is not fair. They report it. Who do they report it to? That's why you have the Anti-Corruption Commission. That is why the Anti-Corruption Commission is an autonomous agency. You understand? It is an agency that is not intended to function by the whim of the president. The president does this with the SEC, Drug Enforcement Commission, Anti-Corruption Commission. These are very powerful agencies, but they need to run autonomously, independently, impartially. So these people would report these things to the Anti-Corruption Commission. There's too much corruption going in the ministry. The SEC has the authority to launch an investigation in any council or anywhere, in any statutory corporation or in the government, in any council. If it's the mayor, he's not immune to an investigation by the SEC. You see what I'm saying? The minister cannot do anything to the mayor. The SEC cannot do anything to the mayor either, but they can investigate the office of the mayor. Once they investigate the office of the mayor and all these councillors, because by suspending, this is the foolishness in suspending councillors. Because when you suspend all these people have been suspended as if they have been, it assumes that they've all been corrupt. No. So the SEC goes in there to investigate. They will interview people, citizens who have been who have brought complaints forward. They will ask all these people, and they will ask employees, and you are to testify under oath. Under oath. You are to testify under oath on penalty of perjury. So you risk imprisonment. You risk imprisonment if you do not tell. You do not answer truthfully before the SEC. That's the power of the SEC. I know the SEC looks like nobody trusts the Anti-Corruption Commission anymore. Why? Because you have a rotten government that has been using the SEC as a tool to go after this minister. But that's what the SEC is for. So you go to the SEC, they investigate. If they find corruption in there, then the SEC brings charges against the mayor, charges against council members who are found to have been involved in corruption. It goes to court. And if they're found guilty, they are sentenced. Their jobs are over. That's the avenue of action when you are dealing with constitutionally elected officials. That's how you do it. And the truth is, it's just that the means of our citizens are limited. Any citizen can bring a lawsuit against the mayor. Says, I'm suing the mayor, or I'm suing a councilman or woman for corruption. This is what happened. This and this and this and this and this and this. Again, get a piece of land, and it goes to court. But as a central government, the agency that is responsible for investigating, but it cannot remove a mayor just like that. You have to investigate whether or not there's corruption in there, and whether or not the mayor is involved. If the mayor is incompetent, is just incompetent. This is interesting. If the mayor is just incompetent, what happens? They don't find any corruption, right? But they just find that the mayor is incompetent, right? Now, listen to this, guys. This gets interesting. The SEC investigates the council, and they find that this mayor is just incompetent. There's no corruption. They find the council people, okay, this is what happens. This is incompetence. It's not corruption. It's just incompetence. It's just maladministration. It's just maladministration. They're just incompetent. So what do they do? Do they fire the mayor? No, you can't fire a mayor. You can't fire a constitutionally elected person, or a mayor or a councilman under this constitution. So then, what is the recourse if they are really incompetent? What's the recourse? There's no recourse. Why is there no recourse, you ask? Because it is you, the people who elected him. You should have asked him questions before elected him. You elected him as your mayor. So you made your best decision. Your decision was, he is the person we want for mayor. If you wanted a competent mayor, you should have asked him tough questions as to, what have you done here? What have you done? What are your qualifications? That's what you should have done. So in that case, you are stuck with a bad mayor. There's no corruption, but you just stuck with a bad mayor. And until you have your next elections, you are stuck with a bad mayor. We are stuck with a bad councilwoman or man. That's how it happens. That's why we are stuck with Lungu right now. There's nothing you can do about it. You are stuck with a bad president. Why? Oh no, you should just resign. He won't resign. You chose him to be your president. You were convinced that he was the right man for the job. You were convinced that he was qualified. If you didn't want a bad president, you should have asked him questions. What is your vision for the country? How do you intend to end corruption? How do you plan to fix it? How do you plan to fix it? Those are the questions you should be asking. Just saying. Just saying, guys. That's how it works. Sometimes there's no recourse with elected officials. You are stuck. You are stuck. Sure, is there a mechanism to remove a president if the SEC investigate him? Yeah. But our stupid system allows the president himself to fire the head of the SEC before he can investigate him. The system needs to be, once the president appoints the head of the SEC, the president has no power to remove him. That's how it should be. The president appoints judges, but he should have no power to remove him, to remove any judge in Zambia. That's a system that protects you, the citizens. That's how it should be. So if the SEC could investigate Mr. Lungu, finds massive corruption, then the next course of action, because you can't really sue the president because of immunity, okay? Then the next step would be for an independent legislature, which means the National Assembly, to begin impeachment proceedings against the president, which is why it is important that the president does not choose the cabinet from the National Assembly, because it destroys the process. 40 ministers sitting in there in the National Assembly, how can you impeach the president? You can't. But if all those MPs, none of them are ministers, they just sit there. If the president picks, selects ministers from qualified citizens, from among qualified citizens, CEOs of companies, directors of NGOs, there are many qualified citizens, and they serve as they are called to the country's service as ministers. Then you have a National Assembly that is all MPs. You understand? And all they are there for is to pass laws, obviously, and to hold the executive accountable. So if the SEC took this information, then the National Assembly would act on it without fear or favor. They would, conduct impeachment proceedings that are uninfluenced by anybody. And if they find the president guilty, they could remove him from power. You see? Think about how we need to change things in Zambia. I've just told you a few of them. Fellow citizens, thank you for listening. If you have comments, leave them down below in my on this YouTube channel. We are in Tanshibantu. The progress of a country is in the hands of the people. And please subscribe if you would like to see more videos. I'll keep making them. And I hope you got something from my discourse today. And I really do. And please read. Guys, I really encourage you, fellow citizens, to read. It's very important to be an enlightened citizenry. You can't have a country when you don't know, you don't know which is left and which is right. You can't have that. We have to be enlightened. So fellow citizens, until next time, be well.